A very warm welcome to this World Game Changers podcast, where your host, Paul D. Lowe, embraces many crucial conversations that compassionately contribute towards creating a better life and world. Paul's intention's very simple: to help get people's inspirational insights and motivational messages out into the world, so others may benefit.
Welcome back to a World Game Changers podcast, Relationship Edition. My name is Bob Conlin. I am your guest host for this series of podcasts speaking all about relationships. And I believe this is my last one where we speak specifically into the realm of relationships. Doesn't mean we won't talk about it again, but we are coming to a close here, and I'm really excited. And I wanted to wrap this series up pretty much how I started it, talking about the relationships that we have to ourselves and looking through the particular lens of how we choose, how we decide, how we say yes and how we say no. And I'm super excited to get into this conversation with you all. But if you don't know me, I am a professional certified coach with the International Coach Federation. I am a leader. I am a father. I am a husband, and I'm a lover of all things relationship. I think that one of the most important things we can do for our experience of life is to understand the relationship that we have with ourselves and to understand the relationships that we have with those people that we love and the relationship to those people that we lead. So the idea for today came up on one of our meetings that we have at World Game Changers. The board meets and we talk and we discuss, and I can't remember the specific context of why it came up, but it was this notion of yes and no, right? This notion of letting our yes truly be a yes and our no truly be a no. And how it typically goes is not that, right? Is not that. So I want to look through the lens of this yes and no in terms of choosing something that might be outside of our comfort zone, whether that's, a large purchase, whether that's an experience that you might have never had before, or a relationship that you're saying yes or no to, whatever it is, take a look. So diving in, I want to talk about this in the context of getting support. So as I said, I'm a coach. I talk to people all the time. I've been in hundreds, thousands of conversations with hundreds of people. And oftentimes, during this first conversation, maybe the first conversation they've ever had with a coach in this realm, we're getting them connected to possibility. We're getting them connected to what could their life look like on the other side of something, right? On the other side of choosing to get support, having a hard conversation, saying yes to themselves, saying no to something else. And oftentimes during this experience, they get enrolled in something. It's a very kind of coachy word, like, are you enrolled in what you're up to? Are you a yes for what you're up to? Are you excited and looking forward to this experience of your life? And my goal as a coach is to get them to see new possibility. And in that, if I've done my job, they are enrolled in what could be possible for their lives. Could they make the amount of money that they want to make? Could they have the experience of the best romantic relationship of their life? Could they step into a greater sense of leadership in their career? Could they be getting promotions? Could they start a creative endeavor? Could they work on creating the best, healthiest version of themselves? Like, whatever it is for them, they get enrolled in that vision. And part of the conversation as well, and it's usually the opportunity for the first breakthrough of this potential client in working with me, is we talk about the investment of what it would take to hire me, right? And it's an investment in time, of course, like time to spend with me on these calls. It's typically 60 minutes a week. It's also energy. It's the amount of energy that's required to take yourself on and look at your life in a distinguished way, to look at your relationships in a distinguished way. Like it takes something to be in eh, so much awareness about your life and what is there, what there is not, what the gap is, and then to do something about it, to take that uncomfortable action takes a lot of energy. And then finally, of course, there is an investment in money. It's an investment to spend money on your own growth and development. It's an investment to hire a partner to push you outside of your comfort zone, to hold you accountable to where you would normally stop, and to keep you connected to this beautiful vision of what's possible for your life, to keep you enrolled in it. And I would say more times than not, when we get to this conversation about money, the energy shifts. It's almost like all of that possibility, everything that they were enrolled in, is now no longer available because it costs money. And um, it's an interesting conversation to have, and it's an interesting place to notice where you would normally stop in getting what you want. Is it money? Is it time? Is it energy? Is it something else? And to get supported around it. So typically what happens is, okay, thanks for your time. I need to think about it. Let me go talk to my partner, or let me take a look at my bank account, or let me go do this thing and I'll get back to you. And what happens? They never get back to you. They never call me back up. They get triggered by their survival mechanism or their fear or whatever it is that has them having the same experience of life that they want to choose out of in the first place. So typically what I do at this point is like, hey, are you a yes for this or are you a no? Like, just let me know. I'm not attached either way. And I want to say, like, for you to choose in this moment is probably a breakthrough, right? To actually say, I'm a yes for this, and I don't know how it's going to happen, but I do want to work with you. I do want to work on my goals. I want to work with a coach. I want to get a level of support I may have never had before in my life to get the thing that I have never had in my life, right? Or no, period, no, thank you very much. Use no as a full sentence. I'm out, right? And like I said, what often happens, it's like I either call it like a false yes or a slow no. So if it's a false yes, it's let me just tell this person whatever I need to tell them to get out of this uncomfortable situation, right? Think of how many times perhaps maybe in your life that you may have said yes when you actually didn't mean it, or you said yes to end a conversation, or yeah, that sounds great. Let me follow up with you, right? And it didn't sound great. It didn't sound like anything you wanted to do, but you still said yes to get out of the conversation. So that happens a lot too in these conversations. And it's like, it's the opportunity to just honor your process and honor yourself. And the folks who go on to do extraordinary things and are a yes and don't know how, they stay in relationship with me, or they stay in relationship with the possibility or the enrollment, and they get supported. So it might be something like, yes, I want to work with you, and I don't know how I'm going to afford it. Or yes, I want to work with you, and I'm scared about the time it's going to take or the energy. Or yes, I want to work with you, and some other circumstance is scary and getting in the way of it. And right here is one of the greatest opportunities for the breakthrough. It's to get supported by it. And the first thing I let them know right up front, it's like, I'm not attached to you hiring me. Like, I don't need your money. I don't, I'm not trying to sell you something. I'm getting you present to what's possible for your life. And if I'm a partner in that process and can support you along the way, I'm game. Let's go. But we need to stay in relationship to that possibility. And like, yes, I want to work with you, and I'm scared about the investment. Awesome. Great. So what does that part of you need? Like, what does the fear need? What would make you feel more comfortable? What's actually in the way? And you could be in conversation about it. And it's an actual, yes, let me help figure this out, or let me see how this can happen. Right. Versus, yeah, that sounds great. Let me go figure things out and then I'll get back to you. And then you never do. Right. So when it comes to being a yes, be a yes. Be a yes. Um, be a yes and, or a yes but. Yes and I don't know how I can afford it, or yes but I'm scared about this, or yes and I'm going to figure out how I can make this happen. Like whatever it is, whether it's hiring a coach, buying a new car, putting your house up for sale, asking that person out on the date, um, ending the relationship that doesn't work for you, whatever it is, have your yes be a yet. And then oftentimes there's also the no, right? And is the no an actual no? Is it, no, it's not going to work for me. I don't believe it. Or no, I can't have this thing. Everyone else can, but for some reason I can't. Is your no a way that you let yourself off the hook from doing the work, making the uncomfortable conversation, saying the thing that needs to be said, settling or tolerating things in your life that you actually don't want, but you're not willing to get uncomfortable enough to make it happen, right? To make the change happen. So oftentimes we are a no out of fear because we don't have that guarantee of what's actually going to happen on the other side, right? We are completely thrust into the unknown, or could be thrust into the unknown. So we simply say no because that's easier, that's safer, that keeps us in our comfort zone, and that keeps us knowing what there is to know. It keeps us knowing our current life experience. And the challenge that comes up with that is like, if you are not where you want to be, why do you keep saying no? Why is the no still there? Right. So that's the place to look. And I also want to say with the caveat that no is a powerful word. Sometimes we say yes to stuff that we don't want to, right? Sometimes we say yes to things that are not actually aligned with our purpose or aligned with our values or aligned with the experience of life we want to be. So the opportunity here too is just to use no as a full sentence. No, that's it. No explanation, no like having to take care of the person you just said no to and make them feel better, blah, blah, blah. Just say no. No, thank you. And it saves so many people much more time, right? My business partner and I, we're hosting a men's retreat at the end of October of 2022, and we are in conversations with tons of men about getting these guys to come in the woods for 3 days, do some deep soul searching, powerful, beautiful work as human beings, as men, getting them connected to their goals, who they want to be as leaders in the world and relationship and all this stuff. And it's one of the things that we've been practicing in these conversations is like, is your yes actually a yes, or is your no actually a no? Right? Are you saying no because you don't believe that your partner will let you go, or that you can get the time off work, or that you can afford it? Or is your yes actually a yes, or is it a way just to get off the phone and out of an potentially uncomfortable conversation? So we've been practicing this, and it's just incredible when we use no as a way to limit possibility, when there's so much available for so many more of us, and so much more available for all of us. And we just have to say yes to it powerfully and say yes to choose it, right? Choose it. So for yourself, consider what is actually on the other side of you being 100% yes for something. And what is for you on the other side of you being 100% no for something. And you get to say, right? You are the barometer of what's actually true for you, and your intuition will guide you. Your intuition will have you tell yourself the truth, right? So are you saying yes to something that you're not actually a yes to? Are you saying no to something that you actually want to do or actually want to experience, but you're just scared, right? Which is totally normal. All of this is totally normal. My invitation to you is to be in an abnormal conversation of how it usually goes, if it's in service of what you actually want, what you actually yearn for in life. So I'll close with this. One of my favorite sayings is, anytime we say no, we're saying yes to something else. So if you're saying no to an experience that you do want, what is it actually saying yes to? keeping the current experience that you're having in your life that you may not be wanting alive. You're tolerating it. And my invitation is to just notice where you're choosing your yes from, and where you are choosing your no from. Thanks for listening. This has been a blast. I've had so much fun having these conversations. And if you want to keep this conversation going, please feel free to reach out. You can reach me at conlincoaching.com. That's CONLIN coaching.com. And until then, please keep bringing lots of courage and lots of heart into your relationships. It creates magic. Take care.
Thanks very much for listening to this World Game Changers podcast episode. Hopefully you found it interesting and helpful. Drop a line to paul@worldgamechangers.org with any thoughts or questions you may have, and he'll be more than happy to respond. Remember, the world is changing. How will you respond?